Adam Chris from MMAnews.com, being joined by Andre Petroski, who is very successful in his second UFC outing against Hu Yaozong. It took place at UFC 267. He took out Hu Yaozong via third-round arm triangle. He is now 2-0 in the UFC, both via third-round stoppage. I got my man right now to join me to talk about it. Andre, first and foremost, you got the win, 2-0, perfect in the UFC. My first question is, when you got on the microphone, you said, Riley, I'm coming home, we're going trick-or-treating. Did you get out to trick-or-treating with Riley?
Fuck, man, I did not, and I felt
Oh,
bad about it, but yeah, I had to make it up to her today. Actually, yesterday, we
yeah.
went to the trampoline park and had a good time. So I spent
Dude,
the last 2 days with her, but no, I didn't make it home. I missed my flight like a total fucking loser. Didn't make
nah.
it home.
It's all good, man. But you know
I
what?
know, man. I
I'm
had a
sure she.
Peter Pan. She was Tinkerbell, and I had a Peter Pan costume waiting for me when I got home. But no, we didn't make it.
Well, I'm
We
sure.
got to the airport actually like 45 minutes before the plane left.
Yeah.
And they were like, nah, like international flight, you got to be here at least 2 hours early. Like, we closed the gate an hour before the flight. I was like, come on, man. Like,
Did you raise any hell in the airport?
I mean, like, being in Abu Dhabi is like not the same. Like, it's kind of scary, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
they don't have any crime over there. They're saying, like, if you get caught stealing, they, like, chop your fingers off. Like, so there's no crime in Abu Dhabi. So, like, the last thing I wanted was to, like, get detained in a fucking airport in Abu Dhabi.
Understandable. So now that you're 2-0, obviously the pinnacle of mixed martial arts, period, point blank. Can you talk about what everything has come to fruition? I mean, everything culminating in these moments, from the Ultimate Fighter now 2-0 in the Dream promotion. How's that feel, man? Because in 2016, stellar fights, the regional scene, Art of War, all of those fights, CFFC, I got to see you growing and rising, and now getting to see UFC 2-0, perfect career thus far. What's it like, man? How are you feeling?
Feel good, man. Like, sometimes I don't, like, stop to, like, take it all in, I guess. Like, as soon as I, like, got home, I was like, even like before I even got home, I was like, I could fight again before the end of the year. Like, if they call me, like, I would definitely fight again. But yeah, in all reality, like, I am super lucky, and like, it's been great. I mean, this is my dream, you know what I mean? Like, this is what I prayed for so long. Like, this is it, So it feels good. It feels really good.
Now, obviously, you got to be on the end of looking up to the fighters in the gyms, the Paul Felders growing up, the
Yeah.
people you got to train with. Now that you're on the opposite end of that stick and you have some of the younger guys coming up, now they're looking to you. Can you talk about that transition, man? One, I'm sure it's a great feeling. And two, what kind of advice do you have for the younger fighters coming up that you can kind of relay that message that you were given from your past?
So I'd say the biggest thing is, like, I'm not a huge believer in cutting weight, to be honest. Like, I think it's stupid. I don't think it's, I think, like, especially early on in your amateur career, like, the focus should be, and like, the second thing is, like, the focus should be, like, to fight as often as possible as an amateur. I would say get as many fights as you can. Like, there's no reason why you shouldn't be fighting, like, every month. Like, that's my advice, to all my teammates that are coming up. It's like, dude, jiu-jitsu competitions, do them all. Like, do as many as you can. Fight as often as you can. Never say no to a fight. Like, never say no. Because it literally means nothing. Like, your amateur record means nothing. Like, it's all experience. And, like, there's so much stuff that you learn in those amateur fights that you can't learn in practice. Like, you can't recreate fights in practice. And the only way you can learn those experiences is by fighting. And I would just say get as much experience as an amateur as possible. The one thing that, like, I'm happy is that, like, I was brought up right, with the guys from Art of War. I was brought up right. Like, I had the easy fights, I had really tough fights, and I had the fights where, like, we were pretty much neck and neck. And I think that all those fights are very important when you're coming up. And I would just, there's no reason why you shouldn't be like guys that are like, oh, like I need to fight at the lowest weight possible, and I need a full 6-week training camp, and I got to really be prepared and in the best shape possible. It's like, I don't know, man. I just think that, like, you should just go out and fight, get experience, and go out and do jiu-jitsu matches and get experience. Like, just do it all.
Speaking of the experience, I want to talk about your experience compared to Hu Yaozong. I mean, your fight credentials, they speak alone for themselves opposed to his. I mean, just talking about your records on paper, I know he's come down from heavyweight to light heavyweight, now to middleweight, but your experience was far superior to his. Do you think that played a factor in the fight?
I mean, it definitely played into my confidence going into the fight. I didn't really get to see much of him. Like, I didn't really get to see much of his fights online. I don't know if they're out there, and I just didn't find them. But I didn't really see much tape on him, so I didn't really know like what to expect going into it. But I remember, like, at one point I was a little nervous and just being like, dude, fuck that, bro. Like, I've been fighting. I've had way more fights than this kid. I have more experience. Like, I've fought better strikers. Like, I've fought better grapplers. Like, I've been like, this kid has no idea what he's in for.
I was going to say, and on a personal level too, just one of your best friends being Pat Brader, and how you guys tussle around, you're kind of used to having a lot of the heavier weights that you're throwing around with quite a bit. So the size advantage, I can't really say played much of a factor. Am I wrong?
I don't mind fighting with bigger guys, honestly. Yeah. I mean, nothing against Pat, but I just don't think they're as athletic. I think that, I think the smaller guys are fucking tougher, man. Like, the 70 and the 55 pounders, like, that's where you're going to find like the peak of athleticism and grit. And like, those are the toughest dudes, man.
So I'm curious now, because you were talking about not cutting the weight early, and there's been talk about you going to 170. You even said Daniel Gracie wants you to go to 170. You saying you don't mind fighting the bigger guys. Where are you at right now as far as that's concerned?
If there's an opportunity that I can't say no to, I can make 70. Like, I'll need a full training camp. Like, I'll need a nutritionist. I'll need like 6 to 8 weeks to get down. But if it's an opportunity that I can't say no to, then I'll do it. With that being said, like, I like this short notice position I'm in, like, I like being able to take fights on 4 days notice. Like, hey, we fly out Saturday. All right, it's Monday. Let's go. Like, I need 24 hours to make weight right now. Like, there's only a couple guys in the UFC that need 24 hours to make weight. So they know who to call if a fight falls through like 2 days before, you know what I mean? And they know I'm always down. I'm always ready to go. Like, so especially now, like, Mick knows who to call. If something falls through, even if it's the day before, like, my medicals are up, I got a passport, and I need 24 hours to make weight. They know who to call. So like with 70, it's different, But like I said, like, if there's an opportunity that like I can't say no to, like, I would take it.
Understandable. So now being 2-0 in the UFC, man, the pinnacle of fighting period, do you think that you've silenced, because you've mentioned it before, you think you've silenced the critics that have talked about your cardio in the past? You took this fight on 5 days notice. You finished it in the 3rd round, late in the fight. Your last fight, you finished late in the 3rd round. Do you think you finally silenced all those critics that had something to say about your cardio?
To be honest, like, I don't really care. If people keep saying like, oh, he's got cardio issues, like, good. Fucking good. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I've proven to myself, you know what I mean? I've proven to myself that I can go in and fight for 15 minutes. And that means more than, you know what I mean? That's for my confidence. Like, when I go into a fight, I know that I can dig deep and go for 15 minutes. Like, that's all that matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And transitioning now, that being 2-0 in the UFC, obviously you being in the tough house as well, but how comfortable are you in the octagon now? That octagon, are the UFC jitters still a thing, or where are we at there?
Dude, man, like, I still get nervous like the day of the fight. And But fuck, man, like when I go to walk out, like it completely like disappears. Like I just get like excited. It's like I think it's just like the anticipation more than anything. I think it's just like the anticipation makes me like almost feel like I'm nervous. And when I walk out, like it's in this fight, especially like when I walked out into the arena, I was like, let's fucking go. Like I was hyped, you know what I mean? And all that nervousness, like honestly went away.
Yeah.
So, but it's always like that morning of the fight. Like I just like have trouble eating a lot. Like I want to eat like a big meal for breakfast, and I just like have trouble eating a lot because I'm like, you know, antsy. I'm ready to go. Like,
So I think another one of your big fun quotes that made its circulation through the post fight media is "You don't save your money well." Is there something that you decided to get a little extravagant on, a little bougie on? Did you spoil other outside of the trampoline park? Is there something?
I spent
Is Riley riding around in a Lamborghini Bigfoot?
I spent like $600 some on these Disney on Ice tickets for Christmas.
Yeah,
So
real
I
man
don't know.
stuff.
I mean, I've never been to Disney on Ice, but it sounds good, and we got front row seats, so it better be fucking good.
Or else they have a UFC fighter they're going to have to deal with, which I'm sure nobody on Disney on Ice is ready to deal with.
I'm gonna punt Mickey Mouse if it ain't good.
So, when are you targeting to be back in the cage, man? You said if they want you back in December, you're ready to go. But I mean, idealistically, when are you looking to have a full camp and get right back into it?
So I mean, I would have 100% taken if they call me in November, like I'll fight. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? I'm good. Like I'm fine. I'm completely healthy. Like seriously, I'm not just saying that. Like I'm completely healthy. I don't think I got hit in that fight, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good to go. Like if they want, like I'll fight in November for sure.
So now, coming up as the grinding fighter, you know, you put your chops in the regional scene, now 2-0, perfect record in the UFC. How is life for Andre Petroski? And we'll close on that.
Dude, I live a great life, man. I prayed for this life. So I'm truly blessed. And I mean, everyone says like the world's going to shit, but I mean, I think this world's great, to be honest.
Awesome, man. Andre, congratulations again. I look forward to, just like many others in our region and across the world now, that you're a dominant name in the UFC, in your weight division. You're representing the city of Philadelphia. Amazing. Obviously, we couldn't be any more proud of you. Thank you for joining me, brother.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
There he goes, Andre Petroski, who just took out Hu Yaozong. It went down at UFC 267. He took him out via arm triangle with just seconds left in the fight. And we expect more amazing things out of Andre Petroski in the future. For Andre Petroski, I'm Adam Christ. Make sure you keep it locked to MyMMAnews.com for all your fight news needs.